Hey everybody, welcome to my tutorial, and basically I'll be creating this look. If you like it, stay tuned, and if you don't, stay tuned. First I'll be using a damp beauty blender and my Too Faced Primed and Poreless. Next I'm taking my Hard Candy GLAMOFLAUGE, and this is in the color Light. This stuff is very opaque, I would say, and comes off really bright, so I like to use it underneath instead of over top, and that way it gives me the desired effect. I have gotten a little bit of creasing under my eyes, so just be careful of that. I'll just be dabbing down to around my nose area and up. I also have a little bit of redness around my nose, and just with the leftover I'm just going to dab on that as well. Next I'm taking my EX1 INVISIWEAR liquid foundation. This is in the color F300. It is slightly darker for me, and I do have some self tanner that I thought I would have on by now, but I don't, so it is a tiny bit too dark for me. I really love this stuff. Also, I forgot to mention that I am growing out my eyebrows, so sorry, they look so bad. This is like the third time that I've tried growing out my eyebrows, and every time I get so antsy I end up cleaning them up instead of just letting them grow, but I'm adamant this time. Next, I'll be using my E.L.F. Mineral Pearls. Color Natural, and these have kind of been tricky to use. I actually shake them and then pour the beads out and then use the fall off. So these are the culprits I work with. With a really big fluffy brush, you can also use a kabuki. This one is an ECOTOOLS brush, and this does have a very slight pearlescent finish in some lighting, so if you don't think that would be appealing to you, keep that in mind. I think it just helps keep the skin just that tiny bit radiant and youthful looking. Now I'm using my E.L.F. Mineral Pressed Bronzer. It just looks like that. I'm going to use my tan toffee just to contour a little bit, and then I'm going to go in with the color Baked Peach, and this is kind of like a 2-in-1 or almost 3-in-1. This can contour and bronze and blush and highlight, so that's 4. 4 steps in one, because it does have that little bit of a luminous finish. So if you're in a hurry, this is a perfect go-to for those days that you're trying to run out of the door and not look like a zombie. I'll be using my E.L.F. blush brush. It is a very small and almost loosely packed brush. So I'm just going to apply this in the hollows of my cheeks. Just a little bit under my jawline and chin. I also have this E.L.F. angled contour brush, and I'm going to use that on the sides of my nose. I also think this would be a good brush for putting concealer under your eye and blending it out. Just on the edges there. And I'm just going to dab a little bit on my temples and just wipe the excess in my hairline. Then I'm just going to pop the other one in the Baked Peach just almost on top of that And I'll actually be adding a little bit of blush and highlighter too. What is this doing? Do you see this random piece of hair? It's so weird. Ugh. Next, I'm taking my Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I'm just going to dab this on the tip of my beauty blender. Next, I'll be doing my brows, and I'll be the first one to confess that my brows are getting out of control with the amount of steps that I'm adding, and I need to kind of dumb it down because it's just becoming too time consuming. I take a sharpener, and this is a NYX, and this is a taupe pencil by NYC. And I always start with a sharp pencil. So I actually go through these quite fast because you lose some product every time that you sharpen. But since this is a drugstore pencil, it's not too hard on the piggy bank. So what I like to do is just with my pencil, because it's the darkest part, I just kind of draw in this edge, follow it along the bottom. Then I basically attach these spiky hairs just straight across, and then I make my curve and then just lightly draw it in. I like to drag my finger down the side because otherwise it becomes too rounded. So just to make sure that my angle is kind of there, I just run my finger down it and kind of smudge the line into the place that I want. Again, I'm grabbing those standy uppy hairs. That's basically where I start my line. I come all the way across and just kind of make a bend at the tail area. Fill in at this bottom spot, come across the bottom and connect. Next, I take my E.L.F. brow kit. This is in the color Ash, and I've been enjoying the professional concealer brush. And I just like to brush this in the beginning of my brow, this area here. And I just basically start with a little line and then just pick it upwards. Then I take my Anastasia of Beverly Hills DIPBROW pomade, and this is in the color taupe, and I kind of go over the area where I filled in with my pencil. And then my last step, then I just try and fix like the crazy scary parts, which hasn't been a likely feat lately because of the little growth. But then I go in with my wet gloss by E.L.F. and I just pop that in. It's kind of like a hair gel for your eyebrows. Now I'm going to take my Scandaleyes Waterproof Kohl Kajal, and this is in the color Sparkling Black. I intended to get a black one, but I don't read things when I'm buying them. Next, I'm taking a Smashbox eyeshadow. I'll be working with black and purples. I have similar colors in my E.L.F. palette too, so I'll just give you a show quickly. So I'll be working with this vanilla color here, which is just a light cream, and then I will be playing with some of these lavender, lilac, violet, and blacktop. And they're in various finishes, as well as I may dip into snow, which is a white. So if you want to use a less expensive variation in my E.L.F palette, any of these light colors would substitute for the vanilla, and there is a light one for the snow. And then for the purples, look at all the purples that you can use here, and for the dark black there are several variations here as well. I'll just be using maybe some or all of these brushes, I don't know. This is just a fluffy brush from Coastal Scents. It is a nice brush. I've been using it a lot, and it isn't as soft as I thought it would be, and I've been kind of hurting him. And then I have this one from Crown Brushes. It's just a rounded fluffy brush that's a little bit short and tight. And then a large fluffy brush, and this one is from Mirabella. It's an eye blender. I have a C brush. This is from Crown Brushes as well. This is a C135 oval shadow brush, and this is a C213 chisel mini smudger, a loose button, just a flat tappy-on-y brush. Okay, so I may not mention them, or if I'm not showing that I'm switching between them, I kind of just do what I want. So first off, I'll be taking the vanilla color, and I'm going to do that all over my lid. And I'll be using my C brush. The only thing that I don't like about this palette is that there is quite a bit of fallout for a professional quality shadow. As you can see, I just dipped into that, and there is quite a bunch of shadows. So I'm actually surprised by that. I thought that, like, just look at this, that it wouldn't do that, but it is what it is, I guess. So I'm just wiping that all over my lid. All the way up to the brow bone. Then I'll just be taking that tight, small smudge brush. And to be honest, you don't need all these brushes. You don't. So just work with what you have. I'm going to be taking this dark violet color, and I'm going to be taking that all over the very bottom of my lid. I'm not even going to take it up very high. This one, however, has tons of pigment, and it doesn't fall out as much as, well, no, it does. Has really nice pigment. I'm just going to pat that and kind of just wipe it on there. Don't go too high with this color. I'm taking my big fluffy brush, and I'm just going to wipe that back and forth and blend it. So next up, I'm going to go with lilac, and I'm going to go into the center of the lid, and I'm going to be using my flat brush here, and I'm going to work towards, I'm going to start from the inside of the eye towards the middle. Next, I'm taking the lavender, and I'm going to follow really closely with that, but try and not overlap right in the center. So this is really just the first third. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of snow, and I'm just going to wipe that on the inside of my tear ducts. Now I'm going to take a small smudgy brush. I'm going to take that violet color, and I'm just going to put it under my eye, aiding it with the white. Next, I'll be taking Blacktop, and I'm just going to take it from the outside, and I'm kind of going to meet on the inner lashes here, and then take it a little bit higher. So in a way you're making a bracket here. If you can see, you're making a bracket or open-ended triangle or almost a triangle. So you make your bracket and then close it. Just imagine drawing a triangle. Now I'm going to go back with my fluffy brush and just blend. So when you are happy with your blending, it's time for some eyeliner. I'll just be using my E.L.F liquid liner in black. On my lips, I'll just be using my Milani Crystal Color Glow Gloss, and it doesn't have a color on it, kind of wiped off, sorry. The thing that I don't like about these applicators is that it barely grabs any product and you have to dip 100 times. I'm just grabbing the highlight out of this same palette. I'm just putting the Flush blush in between. Last but not least, I'm applying my Scandaleyes. Time to do my hair and jump into some different clothes. So there you go, I kind of just zhuzhed my hair. I didn't really do it. This is the final look. I hope you enjoyed watching, and if you have any questions, just list it down below. Thanks for watching. Love yas. Mwah.